Many of you may not know this, but I grew up in Canada. A good friend of mine who watches my stories calls me up one day and says, "Hey, you're always interviewing tourists who are already on the island enjoying themselves, and you get to talk to repeat visitors that get to go year after year all the time, which is great. But what about those who had the chance to experience Aruba once or twice and longs to return, but for one reason or another can't?" She brought this to my attention because she's one of those people. Andrea has had the chance to come to Aruba and experience it during her university years and then her honeymoon. But things happen, family starts, babies come, and she hasn't had a chance to come back for quite some time now. She says she longs to return with her family, and she actually daydreams about it almost every single day. So I ventured to Canada for this particular story. Dorothy, we are certainly not in Aruba anymore. This is snowy Canada, and these two ladies are good friends of mine since high school. Meet Christina and Andrea. They both live in the suburbs of Toronto, and they've both been to Aruba. The women are now married with children, but somehow all the way in Canada, Aruba is still top of mind.
The last time I visited Aruba was actually on my honeymoon, which was the best trip of my life that I have been daydreaming of going back ever since.
It's been a long time since either of them has visited the island, but Aruba made a lasting impression on them.
So I've been to Aruba twice. Once I went with girlfriends, and I had never experienced anything like Aruba. Most importantly, the beaches, the fresh air, and going out in the evenings for nice walks and feeling very safe.
I remember it being so much fun, a good mix of relaxation and being able to go off of the resort and venture around the island, which I really liked. There's so much to do outside of your regular like Mexico or Cuba vacation, which was really refreshing.
I actually went back for my honeymoon with my husband, and we have not stopped talking about Aruba ever since. I think the thing that stood out for us was really just being able to go for a walk every evening, feeling very safe on the island and exploring. We hadn't really done that in the previous trips we'd done to other islands, such as Dominican, where we kind of felt more safe when we just stayed on the resort, which is great, but just not exploring as much. And in Aruba, we went on so many excursions. We had so much fun, and we were just enjoying the island life to the fullest. And ever since then, we haven't traveled again, and that would be our #1 destination.
Life looks different for Andrea and Christina since their last vacation to the One Happy Island. They both experienced Aruba as young single women, and Andrea selected the destination for her honeymoon. Now, they both hope to bring their children back to Aruba and experience the island again as a family.
We're so grateful because we have a 4-year-old daughter and a 6-month-old baby girl. So we have 2 girls in the house, and I often talk about being able to pack up and travel again. It just hasn't happened, but I watch our holiday every week to kind of stay up to date on what's going on in Aruba and what are the new things I want to do to check out with the girls.
I went when I was single, so it was more of a friend's trip, but now I have a husband and a family, and I would love to go back with them, and that's just another reason why I would want to return. It's very safe there. There's a lot to do, whether you're single or just with your significant other or your friends, but also a lot to do if you have a family as well. So I would love to go back.
So for me, I think the biggest thing now that we have a family as well is safety. So I want to go to a beach in Canada. If you're familiar, it's cold a good majority of the year. We look forward to a change of scenery and just even getting on an airplane and traveling. We haven't done that yet with the girls. And the reason is we want to take them somewhere to enjoy a beach like none other, which Aruba has. I remember fresh air and a breeze that was all day long. It never felt too hot, too cold. It was always just right. And as well, I want to be able to take the girls for walks in the evenings. And that's something that in other destinations that I've traveled to growing up, as well as a couple, like we just stayed on the resort. We didn't have that freedom to travel around. And even to leave the resort to grab a drink or grab a bite to eat, I think that was really exciting and something that stood out to my husband and I.
According to these ladies, Aruba is good for 1, a girl's vacation. Check. 2, honeymoon. Check. And 3, with families. Check. Aruba has the highest repeat visitor rate in the Caribbean. There are many tourists who come to Aruba every year. It turns out there's others who wish to return or even become an annual visitor of Aruba one day.
Yeah, I would love to return there, but obviously life happens, like 2 kids, 2 small kids, like there's an anxiety of traveling alone, as a family of 4, not having any help while we're there. Yeah, houses, life's just expensive these days, but that would be my #1 destination to go back to.
You know, for us who live in Canada, we dream of just 7 days once a year if we're lucky enough to get on a flight and experience Aruba. For those folks who get to go every year and for the people who live there, I think that it's a beautiful place to be, and truly just the thought about it makes me happy. To be there for 7 days of the year feels like working the rest of the year is worth it.